Okay. Okay. A very good evening to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is the 2nd of April, 2020, Thursday class. We will start off with the puja. Let us compose our mind. Maintain the faith, sada, virya, and mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Go and light the candle. So just give me a minute. My wife and my daughter will light the candle. Yeah. So my wife say let my daughter light. Yeah, 7点那个 candle. Okay. We can now get ready for puja. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapama Datana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now you chant the salutation to all the great beings. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 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 阿弥陀佛。Namo 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 弥勒佛。Namo 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 普贤菩萨。Namo 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 地藏王菩萨。Namo 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 佛菩萨。Namo 佛菩萨。Namo 佛菩萨。Okay, Now we rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then we pay respect to Triple Japa, Vedang Pujene, Dhammang Pujene, Sanghang Pujene. Okay. You can be seated. Just relax body and mind and maintain some form of attention. Then we can start our class. Before we start our class, I'd like to wish all Kayamitas well and happy. May you all stay healthy, stay stay home, be peaceful. Then continue your cultivation, your daily religious routine, your daily mindfulness. Develop it until it's very stable. Initially, don't try to know. If you want to develop some form of understanding, you can reflect on it, contemplate on whatever you experience after you come out of the meditation. But don't mix the two. When you contemplate and reflect, you will find out what actually happened in the meditation. But when you are in the meditation, don't verbalize, don't do all those things, just silent, maintain awareness, maintain continuity of mindfulness leading to heedfulness. Then the mind that is already heedful, ever mindful, will develop the understanding. It will understand by itself without word, without knowledge, without thought. Through that silence, it will observe and see clearly. Then all of a sudden, the understanding will arise and it will awaken you. That is the real one. Otherwise, I realize a lot of cultivator or so-called meditator, they don't really understand what cultivation is. They go and look for the thing, look for the Dhamma, then use their Dhamma knowledge to rationalize and try to think. Through that thinking, they believe they can develop the understanding. But it's the other way around. It is not through the thought, because the thought cannot realize something that is beyond thought. Thought is useful when you know how to make use of it, to arise the right thought, the wholesome thought, then to use it to express and explain things. Okay, with that, maybe I will start tonight's sharing. We will go to the message. The first message is by Adam. Adam. I think most of Thursday class, you know who Adam is. So I will read to you what he wrote to me. He said, dear Brother Theo, I don't have a question tonight, but I have an experience to inquire. Then Adam said, when I empty my mind and practice meditation, there is thought during that time, which is obvious. Then my body will easily fall to sleep. After that, I will usually wake up 3 hours after that, having no recollection. Means he said he cannot recall anything. Means I have fallen asleep. Means he lapsed into the unconscious. And the feeling of time had been lost. So my first comment is, when he said he emptied his mind, I think in his own way, after he learned from the Thursday class, don't try to know, just let things be. Means that is his way of emptying his mind. Means he doesn't want to worry about the thought and all those things. That's why that one can help him. Then he say he practiced meditation. That is a wrong word. Meditation can never be practiced. Meditation is to be developed. It's not a mechanical thing or a rigid thing where you can practice. You cannot practice to be peaceful. You don't practice something unless you do it as a repetitive thing, like practice how to play football, badminton, table tennis, uh, practice how to ride a bicycle. That one you practice. But when it comes to meditation, you have to cultivate it. You have to develop the sati, the mindfulness, the awareness within. So what happened is when I empty my mind and practice meditation, there is thought during that time, which is quite good. He can see the thought. Then he said, because he empty his mind, the body will easily fall asleep. When you meditate, you maintain awareness, you don't fall asleep. Falling asleep is initially when you try to do the lying down meditation. Then because you are so comfortable, so relaxed, you will fall asleep, which is normal. It can happen to beginners, to new people. But it's okay. If you are tired, the body is tired, then go and sleep. Then when you wake up, you feel fresh. After that, you want to meditate, you can meditate. To meditate is to relax and maintain awareness. Always remember the second support. Maintain awareness. Not to fall asleep. Fall asleep and snore, that is sleeping. Uh, and you can hear your own snoring and maintain awareness, and then it's good. It's sleeping meditation. But for his case, he can't because he said he was completely knocked off for 3 hours. He went into the unconscious. He cannot recall anything. Uh, so sometimes, if it's deep sleep, you cannot recall anything, not even your dream. Then it is a good rest for the body. But in his case, I don't think so because he lack awareness. I think sometimes he dream also he doesn't know. So that's why he's having that problem. But the next issue that he has is also giving him problem. He said after that, huh, he usually wake up 3 hours later, having fallen asleep and he cannot recall anything. Then he feel that that time has been lost. That is a wrong view. That is a dangerous mind state. As I after that he continued. I have encountered this experience many times in the past. Spelling is wrong, PAST. And each time having regret. See, the word regret is a negative mind state. Because time was used without achieving anything in life. To me, this one is contradictory. You want to sleep, you sleep, and so on. You cannot sleep and use time. Do you understand? You cannot be productive when you sleep. You maintain awareness also, you cannot do anything. It's just aware, meditating, understanding with the silent mind. So it's either or. You can't be productive when you want to sleep. You sleep means you sleep. You meditate while sleeping is meditate. And when you meditate, it's just aware. Uh, of course, you can say that that time is used fruitfully to meditate. But you cannot regret that period where you went into the sleeping mode or unconscious. You say you cannot use it. How can you use it? Because you are in the unconscious. You are in the sleeping mode. So according to him, he said he had regret because time was used without achieving anything in life. Time just lost or burned, literally. The regret caused me to stop experiencing this moment. It's like it happened because of negative mindset. And I came to hate those moments. This is worse. Huh? The evil roots of anger, hatred, dislike come about. Because basically he can't understand what is going on. Then after that, he continued. But I began experiencing them again lately during the COVID-19 MCO. MCO is Movement Control Order, because there is more time again to practice meditation, to cultivate meditation, to develop meditation. Meditation cannot be practiced. And emptying the mind without telling the mind to do so has made me sleep while I was meditating. See, he contradicts himself again. Emptying the mind without telling the mind to do so has made me sleep while I'm meditating. If you are meditating, how can you sleep? You will be aware. Then not realizing time has gone, and I awake a few hours later. That is sleeping. That is not meditation. Understand? So Adam make a note of that. Then after that, he say, but I begin. No, don't repeat. Don't repeat. Okay. But I begin. Oh, sorry. That one is over. Yeah, here. Then he said, I began introspecting again this experience without judgment, without reacting to it, and questioned myself, what is the benefits of entering this no thought state? I need to explain here. This is not a no thought state. This is the unconscious state. You have left into the unconscious state. This you already doze off, unconscious. You went asleep. You went into the sleeping mode. You are not aware. No thought state means you are aware, but yet the mind is without thought. That is the no thought state. It's just like when they give you the anesthesia in the hospital, chloroform, then they knock you off. You become totally unconscious because they switch off the part of the brain that's supposed to make you conscious. So you lapse into the unconscious. You went into a state they call bhavanga. You are not conscious at all. Unless the sense impingement is very strong, then there will be moments of arising from the bhavanga. Then I read on. I was able to obtain the answer this time. My body feels like it has entered the meditation field, no, or compassion feeling, or happy feel, and can stay there for a very long time. This one is he rationalized through the thought process. When he was in the unconscious, there was nothing. But then when he reflects into it, it was the thought telling him, because he can feel those things. And these are conditioned thinking. Even those words that he mentioned, I began introspecting again this experience without judgment, without reacting. These are all the words that I mentioned. Then he said he questioned himself, what is the benefit of entering into this no thought state? It's not a no thought state, it's an unconscious state. So all this, he has to slowly develop the understanding. Otherwise, this conditioned thinking he cannot see. Then after that, he mentioned no, after that. He said his body feel like he has entered the meditation field of compassion feeling or happy feel and can stay there for very long. The event of the world feels splitting away, like they can't touch me, even death don't seem scary. So this one is a conditioned thinking state because he has heard a lot about this. That's why when you listen to Dhamma, you get yourself attached, then you will condition yourself to believe you are in that state. So if you do that, there is not meditation, there is not the wisdom. The wisdom comes through the silent mind, the inner awareness that is very stable. And when the stability is there, all of a sudden, it will awaken on its own, without thought, without any knowledge. The silent mind just understand. It's just like what they say, the aha moment. All of a sudden, within that silence, the stillness, the awareness, it is just aware. Then through the awareness, the phenomenon arise, then it insight into it and awaken. That's why this insight is by the silent mind, by the true mind. There is no thought involved. It just awaken. Then after that, when it come out of the meditation, you will understand what it is. And it is so beautiful. And this one is so penetrative. This is the turning wisdom. Bhavana Maya Panya. But you cannot do it unless your daily mindfulness is very stable, unless your silent awareness within is very stable. That's why when you are in the form of meditation, you're supposed to let this silent mind stabilize until the mind enters sati and realize passaddhi. Passaddhi is tranquility of mind, stillness of mind, the silent mind, which is your meditative mind. So passaddhi is very important. Passaddhi means no thought, no movement, it's just aware. That's why the mind is tranquil and still, no movement. Right? Then stabilize it. Then it will accumulate into samadhi. So sati, passaddhi, and samadhi will allow you to see things as they are, without the interference of your memory, your conditioned thinking, your views, your opinion, your whatever belief system. Means you are not allowing the memory to interfere with what you see. You don't even try to perceive anything. It's just the direct seeing, the awareness, seeing things as they are. And it will understand, it will awaken. Where no word, no concept. Then it will see the movement, the activity. Then it will also see how the mind still react and become what it is. That's why you can trace the origination factor. Before the evil roots arise, before the mental hindrance arise, they were not there. Then how did they arise? Through what? In that silence, you can discover that silent awareness that is very, very sensitive and observant, can see, can understand. Then why it moves, it also understands. That's why when you silence your mind and really meditate and observant, you can understand many things. The form of meditation is a very good way to understand the true mind. Then after that, when the mind enters sati, develop passaddhi, means your mind has transformed. Then when you come out of the form of meditation, this mind that is already in sati will be very different. After that, every activity, every movement that you do, your body and mind is together. We call it specific phenomenal awareness. That every moment of seeing is in sati. Every moment of hearing is in sati. Smell, taste, tactile, and thought process. All the movement or activity, sankara or whatever, they are all in sati. That's how your daily mindfulness become very, very different. Then that time daily mindfulness is like very easy. It just arrives. Usually by then, your spiritual faculty is already developed. Your initial wisdom also already developed. That's why your daily mindfulness can become very different. Then with a good religious routine throughout the day, you will develop the religious routine to be in that mindful state. That's why the Buddha called it ever mindful, constantly meditative, and that is heedfulness. So you have to develop until that stability. Otherwise, the real meditation cannot start. Then when you are so stable in your mindfulness, that mindfulness is so different. It can be aware of many things that arise. It can be aware of the essential Dhamma that the Buddha talked about, especially the three evil roots. You become very sensitive. That's why meditation or cultivation is to be developed in two stages. Stage one is to understand the teaching, pariyanti. Then stage two is to put it into practice. So under pariyatti, understanding the teaching, you have to understand what is the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Then you have to understand all the essential Dhamma, so that when you already develop the heedfulness or the mindfulness, you can use it to investigate Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya, so that you can, through the silent inner awareness and daily mindfulness, be aware of your mental intention and your mental defilement, the evil roots, the greed, hatred, and the delusion, the subtle defilement behind that cunningness, that deceitfulness, that subtle intention behind, that has the ego behind. So all this you will start to see, then you start to experience them through the daily life. Then the mental hindrance, you see them very clearly, how your mind stir, how your mind react initially to every moment of sense experience, like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant. These are the first two mental hindrances of sensual desire and ill will. See them. Then why did your mind stir? Why did it react such a manner? See it. When you see it, you understand. Then when you come out, you know how to straighten your view and you know how to change over to a new way of living life, which is heedful, no longer heedless. That's how meditation is to be developed. Unless your daily mindfulness is very stable, you cannot see. You are as good as blind. So most of you will try to use Dhamma knowledge to rationalize the thought, to develop the uh, understanding, thinking that this is Dhamma, this is wisdom. No, these are thought-based meditation. They cannot awaken you. They will bring about more delusion in you if you are not careful. Then I will read on. The feeling, oh sorry, we are here. Okay. The feeling of gratitude, love, and compassion is always there. That is according to him, somewhere near the heart. I can associate with this feeling. That's why I say this is very likely his conditioned thinking. Because if he has had this ability, he will not talk like that. He will not describe like that. He will behave differently. But never identify it because I never lost it. This one is all his thought telling him and his conditioned thinking. I felt them many times, but I tried to stay away from it. See? he contradicted himself again. Because I always got swayed by the mood and not wholesome feeling of this worldly life. See? That's the reason why I say conditioned thinking, because he contradicts himself. He cannot come to terms with all this state that he describes so beautifully. Uh, he still have problem with many things. Then the next one is the feeling of a happy and healthy body with the feeling of everything is possible as long as it's done with wisdom and compassion stay with me for some time. When I woke up few hours from this so-called empty state of the meditation, please, Adam, check. This is not meditation. You wake up from the unconscious state. But your conditioned thinking, you have to be careful because you very easily get yourself conditioned by the words that you heard. Uh, these words are beautiful, but you have to realize it through meditation, through an understanding. Not to take the word and use your thought to try to develop the rational understanding, believing that you also have it. No, it's not like that. Before the wisdom arises, all this cannot come. Virtue can only arise when there is wisdom. Without wisdom, there is no true virtue. Love and compassion are only thought-based, according to the individual. Okay, I read on. Meditation no longer a practice. Again, this is what you heard, conditioned thinking. Yes, I'm always in the meditative state. You can't. If you can, means your daily mindfulness is already very stable. Using thought awareness again, this is what I have been telling you. Huh? And accepting that when the body just want to sleep, when there is a long period of no thought, it's not no thought. You went into the unconscious, you went into the sleeping mode. No thought means you are fully aware that there is no thought activity, no more. That is the real one. It's a free mind. Huh? Please take note of that. Then I say, okay, message noted. Then I ask him permission. Can I share your experience and comment on it at tonight's class? No, he happily and quickly replied, yes, okay. That's why I share. Huh? So Adam, I hope it's something for you to learn. And at the same time, slowly develop more understanding. Your conditioned thinking can help you in a little way, but not much. Chances is, if you are not careful, if you don't develop the real mindfulness, you will get trapped into that conditioned thinking and conditioned belief. And so if you do that, you will not progress, you will stagnate. So just relax, maintain awareness, then silence your mind. And when you really develop the stability of daily mindfulness, you will understand what I say. Then later on, you can see many things that you don't see before, not through your thought process anymore, not through your knowledge, not through your conditioned thinking anymore. Okay? I go to the next sharing, then you will understand more. The next sharing is by another sister. This one I don't want to mention the name because I didn't want to get the permission from her because she is still new. She is quite new to our class. So this one, if you can recall, is a continuation of my earlier reply to her. Then she replied to me today again. He said, dear Virtue, during formal sitting, this nature sees impermanent much easier than during daily activity, which is definitely true because formal sitting is easier. And it's an example during formal sitting when leg pain. The problem is the word pain, she labored without knowing it. This nature observed the rising of the pain and how it subsides with small vibration running through the toe. So here I would like to explain to the sister. You see, when you label it as pain, it means what? It's an unpleasant feeling. And you are so conditioned because you don't like that sensation. Then you label it as pain because it disturbs you and it causes you unpleasant sensation or feeling. So this immediately creates the first two mental hindrance. Sensual desire is the positive craving. Ill will, which is the second one, is what you are creating. The moment you label, you create mental hindrance. Then how can you meditate? Do you know what is mental hindrance? Mental hindrance are mind state that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. That's why you lose your ability to meditate. You are already not meditating because you labor, you verbalize, you create mental hindrance without the awareness, without you knowing it is a mental hindrance. So meditation is not what you think, not using thought. You have to understand it within the sati or mindfulness that you have developed. Then I read on it. She continued by saying, another example of impermanent observed during formal sitting is this nature sees vibration circulating around the head area near eye level. Another example of impermanent being the non-stop blinking of the eye. with indescribable strong, bright light shining through my eyes. At other time is the mind, which is extremely bright light, difficult to quantify the brightness as is never seen in daily life and without thought. Again, see, conditioned thinking, I say without thought. But if you are without thought, all this word will not appear. But all this impermanent. Please, as cultivator, you don't see impermanent in this way. This is not the way to see impermanent. This is rationalizing through knowledge. The real impermanent that you see is the direct seeing. The moment of its arising, sustaining, and passing away of that phenomenon without words, then it will understand what impermanent is. Everything is of the nature to arise and to pass away, dependent on condition. It will awaken, the silent mind will realize, not through this type of thought-based, knowledge-based rationalization. You cannot do it. That's why after that, she continued. I read some of her. Okay. Okay. But all these impermanent phenomena arising and cease to be during the form of sitting. Then after that, I reply to her. I say, what you are describing is thought or knowledge based. You are not mindfully meditating with the silent mind. Otherwise, the word pain doesn't arise. Remember, be mindful, bracket, silent, to observe without thought. And don't try to know. Don't labor. The silent mind will awaken and understand. Otherwise, you will not progress further because you are stuck with thought-based meditation. Not only her, I realize a lot of people are like that, especially those who are new, because they learn the traditional thought-based meditation. They meditate with what? With the thought. Who is the meditator? The thought is the meditator. And what did the thought do? The thought labor, the thought known, the thought verbalize, the thought look for Dhamma. There is something inside there. That's why Krishnamurti always say, wherever there is a meditator, there is no meditation. Who meditate? Nobody meditate. The awareness just aware. There is no one behind. I already explained that pure mind, the true mind, the awareness nature is not a being, it's not a person, it's not a personality where there is no word, no thought, nothing. Just like no one inside there, it's just an awareness that is aware. And the awareness is capable of awakening through the direct seeing, to see things as they are, to realize the truth, to develop the clear understanding of the phenomenal world of condition arising, causal phenomena. So all these are very important understanding. So this part, after I describe, hopefully she can understand. But it seems initially she replied very fast. She replied to me again after 1 hour again. Oh no, after 3 hours. He said, Bratio, I should not have used the word pain as it is a conventional truth used to describe reaction of the mind towards strong sensation experienced by the body. The reality is there is always wind movement flowing in the body, and due to certain condition it gets obstructed, and that's when the strong sensation arises. When there is sati with the pure mind observing the obstruction, it unfolds itself gradually, and the wind movements flow naturally on its own. Then the strong sensation ceases to be without doing anything, but through just observing with sati through the pure mind. So this part of the description is not so bad. But what I want to caution her is, the eagerness of the thought, the mundane mind to know. That's why she always want to know that she has progressed, and she want to share and get confirmation from me. If you do that, you will not progress. The thought which is eager to know is a craving, is ego. Be patient, don't try to know. When the stability of daily mindfulness arises, all these things will be understood. And when it arises, it's a completely different experience, different understanding. You will describe to me differently. Yeah. Then I replied to her, I said, don't try to know or rationalize the understanding because all this are knowledge from the thought. Just cultivate until daily mindfulness is very stable. Then the silent mind will awaken or understand without words or knowledge. That understanding is very different. Be patient. Uh, Then she replied, he said, thank you so much for your guidance. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So let us rejoice with the two sharing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's why we need condition to share. And I believe this type of sharing can help because not only Adam and this sister has problem with meditation, many people do, especially new people. The older Kayanamita, they have the understanding is easier for them to follow. But for new people, I think not easy. Because the traditional teaching of meditation is always thought-based. You are taught to follow a method or a technique. You are taught to note, to verbalize, to focus, to concentrate, to feel and to look for Dhamma, look for impermanence, uh, look for suffering, and to awaken, to insight into the three universal characteristics of impermanence, suffering, state, and non-self. But they never explain to you how to do it and how this can be realized. That's why all this will not be effective. Then the other thing is certain tradition, they teach them 16 insight knowledges. They call jnana, N-A-N-A, not jhana, jnana. So I realize a lot of these people, they become so gullible, they believe the method and the technique is the meditation. They even tell you, you do this method is vipassana. If you don't do this method, it's not vipassana. Then the anapanasati that the Buddha do becomes samatha. So you have to inquire and reflect. Don't be gullible. Don't believe everything that you were spoon feed or told. The other thing that I realized in the early day when I started sharing is people are so fascinated by psychic ability, jhana, or the very powerful concentration or mindful, uh, psychic ability. They call it thought-based psychic development. Mm. So these are very, very contradictory to what the Buddha teach. The Buddha teach heedfulness, mindfulness. And his focus is on sati. But people define his samadhi as jhana, concentration. For me, it's very simple. If it's jhana, the Buddha would have used samajhana. No need to use another word, samadhi. Then in many cases in the teaching, like the Buddha himself explained, he himself learned under the two great teachers, Alara and Uddaka. He perfected all the 8 jhanas, but he is still not enlightened. He knew. That's why he left them and he strived on his own. And finally, when conditions fall into place underneath the Bodhi tree, he awakened through mindfulness, awareness, and he inherited his past perfection. That's why he become fully enlightened. Then when he teach differently. He teach following the Dhamma that he has realized. That's why finally he teach the four foundation of mindfulness. Then before that, he also have what they call essential Dhamma, especially the three turnings of the Four Noble Truth that he proclaimed or expounded under the first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra. Then when he continued with the Anatta Sutta, all the five ascetics became Arahant. Before that, when he shared the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Four Noble Truths and his three turning of the Four Noble Truths to realize the three types of corresponding wisdom, only one of them, Konanya, he realized Sotapannashi, the first stage of sainthood. That's why all these essential Dhamma that he has taught, they are contemplative wisdom, first turning and second turning. It's good enough. It can awaken you. The sainthood way is relatively easy. But to realize anagami and arahantship, you need to move into the four foundation of mindfulness. Your mindfulness has to be very, very stable. So if you look at the Avijja Sutta, the 10 steps, they are very clear. Step 1 is to have Dhamma friend, which all Kainamita has. Then we move on to step 2, which is opportunity to listen to the true Dhamma. So this opportunity to listen to the true Dhamma is very useful, very important. Then when you constantly listen to the true Dhamma, then you reflect, you contemplate. It will give rise to the first and second turning wisdom. And this first and second turning wisdom is very useful. It will give rise to the initial wisdom, which we call yonisomanasikara. So this yonisomanasikara is very, very important. Then when you listen to the Dhamma, then you develop the faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, because these Dhamma are so beautiful and they can stand up to investigation. Then your faith, which is step 3 in the Buddha and his teaching, is so stable. So step 3 is very important, faith in the Triple Gem. And after that, you move on to step 4, which is the initial wisdom or the wise attention at the moment of sense experience. So every moment of sense experience, you have this initial wisdom. That wisdom will prevent you from being deluded. Because it is a wisdom, you will be at peace. You will not stir your mind. You will not react. You will not be conditioned into like and dislike, which is the first and second mental hindrance, pleasant and unpleasant sensation. So sensual desire and ill will cease to be once your initial wisdom is there, where you have straightened your view through your first and second turning wisdom. Immediately this yonisomanasikara, the understanding born of the first and second turning, is so stable, it will be part of your nature. Then whenever you experience something in life, like when you see something, hear something, smell, taste, tactile, feel, or think of something, the mind is collected and unwavering. It will not stir because of the initial wisdom. So this initial wisdom will come out and prompt you with the Dhamma. Thing is just the way it is. Sabbe sankara anicang, sabbe sankara dukkang, sabbe dhamma anatta. Straight away you will understand. The world is the world. People are just the way they are. Conditioned like that, things will like that. All this wisdom will be there. That's why you will not stir, you will not react. You will be at peace more and more, more and more, more and more. That's how you stabilize the mind. Then when your mind does not stir and react so often, it has more and more moment of peace, more and more moment of space between thought. That's how your daily mindfulness can stabilize. Then after step 4, if you continue with your daily religious routine and determine through the faith to develop the mindfulness, stabilize it, then your mind will enter sati and you will develop sati sampajana, mindfulness and clear comprehension, the four types of clear comprehension. Your mindfulness will be very stable. Then when your mindfulness is very stable, you can see the essential Dhamma, you can see the three evil roots, you can see the five mental hindrances, you can see the law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, the dwelling, all these things. Then you understand very clearly. And because you understand very clearly, you understand what constitutes evil, you understand what is greed. Not only the word greed, the whole field of greed, lobha in Pali. Then the second one is ill will or anger, hatred, envy, jealousy. So this evil root, you have to understand it deeply, clearly. Then delusion, moha. Just now the anger or the hatred is dosa, lobha, dosa, and moha. So under moha, it is delusion, self-delusion. The egoic mind is there because there is a self. When it has problem, when it doesn't understand, it develops fear, worry, anxiety, and these are all part of delusion, lack of understanding. That's why it will arise. So the three evil roots are the root of all evil. So when you are mindful, you are aware, it cannot arise. It cannot have power over you. That's why the four right effort, if you have cultivated them, first is when they arise, you cannot do anything. Means the first right effort to abandon the wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action, or the evil root that has arisen. Use the five way, the meditative way, especially third and fourth way that the Buddha teach. Do it. Then develop the understanding. Without mindfulness, you cannot do the third and the fourth way. You need mindfulness. That's why mindfulness has to be there. Then when you have this ability to do it, you can abandon it. Then next time you trace the origination factor through the fourth way, then you understand how it arises. Through what? Then you understand what are the conditions behind its arising. Then you know how to straighten your view. Then retrospectively reverse it. Then the next time you experience the same sense experience, you are at peace. You no longer stir. That's how the second right effort come to be. You will develop the ability to prevent the arising of the unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, and action. Because the initial wisdom and the understanding is there. Before it can arise, you have the mindfulness to see clearly. That's why it cannot arise. That's the reason why after that you will have sense restraint, which is step number 6. Sense restraint means you cannot break your precept anymore. Your sense door are all perfectly taken care of. That's why you can have sense restraint. You cannot get angry. You cannot get emotional. You cannot get all the panic attack, the fear, the worry, the anxiety. Your senses are all restrained. Everything you see, you are at peace. Everything you hear, you are at peace. Smell, taste, tactile, and thought process. You are always at peace. Then after that, to cultivate the third right effort and the fourth right effort to develop wholesome mind state and to perfect them is very easy. That's why the four right effort will be completed. Once you complete that one, especially third and fourth right effort, you will develop the three way of good conduct, which is step 7. That's why from step 6 to step 7, you will definitely become an Arya, at least a Sotapan after step 6. By the time you hit step 7, chances are you are at least a Sakadagami, second stage of sainthood. And then after that, step 8 is cultivation of the four foundation of mindfulness. Satipatthana. So these four foundation of mindfulness, once you have gone through the first seven steps, the first 7 steps, it will be very easy. You will understand them very easily. That's why in the Sutta, the four foundation of mindfulness, Satipatthana Sutta, you read the final conclusion. After you have cultivated the four foundation of mindfulness, the Buddha said, you will at least realize anagami, if there is still minor conceit. Otherwise, you will realize arahantship straight away. That's why when you develop the four foundation of mindfulness, you will also start to experience the 7 factors of enlightenment. You realize they keep on arising. And that is step 9. So when you see the 7 factors of enlightenment keep on arising, you know you are on the right track. You are destined for enlightenment. That's why after that is enlightenment in the here and now can be realized. So that's how the 10th step of the Avijja Sutta can be cultivated and developed. So this is the reason why I say mindfulness is very important. Without the stability of mindfulness, you cannot see. Daily mindfulness, sati sampajana, daily mindfulness and clear comprehension is very, very important. You must develop that 4th and 5th step. First 3, I think most Kayamita has. The 4th and 5th, some Kayamita may already have them. But it is very important that all Kayamita should develop them. The initial wisdom, the step 4, I think most Kayamita who has been with me for quite some time, they have it already. But daily mindfulness not easy. I think very few, only a handful can do it. The moment you do that, I will sadhu you. You are like what the Buddha said in the Dhammapada verse 23, destined for enlightenment. The constantly meditative, ever mindful, and means you hold on to this cultivation consistently. You will realize the supreme born free nibbana, the enlightenment in the here and the now. So this one is very clearly stated in the Dhammapada verses 21, 22, and 23. So he used the word steadfast one. The constantly meditative, ever mindful, and steadfast one means you steadfastly hold on to those 2 types of cultivation. Then you become heedful. Once you are heedful, you are destined for enlightenment. Under verse 21, Dhammapada verse 21, the Buddha said, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. The heedful never die. Whereas heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedless are as if dead. So if you want to be enlightened, you better develop heedfulness. The moment you are heedful, you are destined for enlightenment. So not so difficult. So to be heedful, there are 2 aspects to heedfulness. First, ever mindful. So to be ever mindful, you train your mind to be mindful first, then stabilize it to be ever mindful. Then use it to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path, which is constantly meditative. Because Noble Eightfold Path is the meditation that's taught by the Buddha. Under the 4th Noble Truth, the Buddha said, if you cultivate this Noble Eightfold Path, it will lead to the end of all suffering, enlightenment in the here and the now. That's why Noble Eightfold Path is the real meditation. So you need to cultivate it. There are 8 path factors. You need to cultivate all of them. And they are not difficult. Okay, so I will end the first 2 sharing. Okay, 9:30, we still have half an hour to go through the Heart Sutta note. Today, the sharing on the meditation part is very good, very beautiful. So you go through it again. Even the Avijja Sutta also a lot clearer. The flow chart just now my daughter showed it to you. It's on the screen. So it's in our Heart Sutta notes. I think appendix 9, 8 or 9. No, just now the Abhijja Sutta. Oh, you cut it out. Never, never. It's under the appendix. Okay, now we go to page 5. First Heart Sutta class, dated 12 February 2012, almost 8+ years ago. So, part 1, introduction, there's a definition. That definition, if you are curious, you can go and Google. There is the www.answer.com. You want whatever answer they give to you. So you can Google religion or spiritual or whatever. But not important. Because nowadays internet, you have to be careful. Sometimes you Google the wrong thing. It may not be everything correct. So make sure you got it right. Okay, then the first word, paramita, Sanskrit word. The meaning is to cross over. Actually, Theravada call it a perfection. So in Mahayana Buddhism, paramita means a perfection or virtuous quality practiced or cultivated by a bodhisattva in the course of their spiritual cultivation. So this word paramita, Sanskrit meaning cross over to the other shore. When you develop the perfection, you become very virtuous. You perfect the virtue. So this perfection is very important in cultivation. You not only understand it, realize it, you have to perfect it. And to perfect it, need a lot of wisdom behind. Let's say the next word is prajna. Prajna is a Sanskrit word. The Pali word is panya, means wisdom. Without wisdom, your virtue cannot be real virtue. So true perfection has to arise after you have developed the wisdom. The wisdom will bring forth the true paramita. Then the Heart Sutta 1.1, 1.2. So this Heart Sutta is very profound, very important. I will read to you. The Heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta. So Prajna is wisdom. Paramita is perfection. So Heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta means the essence of Prajna Paramita, perfection of wisdom, Sutta. See, the title itself is so powerful. It's the heart of the perfection of wisdom, Sutta. So this Prajna Paramita is a very powerful Sutta. When Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva was cultivating the profound Prajna Paramita, he illuminated the 5 skandhas, or aggregates of form and mind, and saw that they are all empty, and he crossed beyond all suffering and difficulty. So the other name for Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Kuan Yin is a great being. It's a very, very great being, full of love, compassion, and wisdom. If you can cultivate affinity with Kuan Yin, you will progress very fast. Because my nature has great affinity with Kuan Yin. This line, she helped me many times. She even saved my life too, at least on 2 or 3 occasions. And she sent me the message in the year 1986. Ask my nature to move fast, not much time left. Oh, from that moment onward, very funny. 1986. After that message came, it was so clear. Immediately when I opened my eye and become conscious again towards the end of my sleep, they always come before you wake up. The message was so vivid and so clear, so beautiful. Then when I woke up, I have great gratitude and respect. Immediately I pay respect. Then from that moment onward, I went all out in my cultivation. And very funny, from that moment onward, the teacher come, the guide come, the book come, everything come. You never believe. This is what karma is all about. This is what vow is all about. Perfection is all about. They can cause things to arise. Everything is already decided and conditioned because of the wisdom, because of the aspiration, the vow and all those things. Then everything fall into place. Then I read on. Second paragraph. Going into Sariputta. Sariputta, form does not differ from emptiness, and emptiness does not differ from form. For form itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is form. So too are the other aggregates of mind, of feeling, cognition, formation, and consciousness. So here, Master Shen Hua used a different word for perception. We call sanya perception, he called it cognition, whatever that he can cognize. Then formation is, he used the word because it's mental formation, but actually it's sankara, your mental states, mental activity, mental intention, everything that your mind can do. And consciousness is vijnana, is the same. Then Kuan Yin Bodhisattva again told Sariputta, Sariputta, all dhammas are empty of characteristic. This one you must understand. This one is the unconditioned dhamma. All dhamma are empty of characteristic. So in the unconditioned true emptiness, he said, they are not produced, not destroyed, not defiled, not pure, and they neither increase nor diminish. Therefore, in true emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no cognition, no formation or consciousness, means the five aggregate of form and mind. They don't exist. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, and or mind. So this one refers to the senses. No sight, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch or dhamma, no feel of eyes, up to and including no feel of mind consciousness. Means all the 18 sense drive, they are all non-existent. And no ignorant or ending of ignorance, up to and including no old age, sickness, and death. That's why no one die, no one sick, no one old. Therefore, no suffering, means the Four Noble Truths also don't have. No accumulation or cause of arising of suffering. No cessation or extinction. No path. He used the word way. They like to use the word way. Actually, it's the Noble Eightfold Path. No path and no understanding and no attaining. Because nothing is attained, the Bodhisattva, through reliance on Prajna Paramita, is unimpeded in his mind. Because there is no impediment, he is not afraid, and he leaves distorted dream thinking far behind. Ultimately, Nibbana. And all Buddhas of the three periods of time attain Anuttara Samma Sambodhi through reliance on Prajna Paramita. Therefore, know that Prajna Paramita is a great spiritual mantra, a great bright mantra, a supreme mantra, an unequal mantra. It can remove all suffering. It is genuine and not false. That is why the mantra of Prajna Paramita was spoken. Recite it thus or this way, or like this. Gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhi swaha. So this is a very beautiful sutta. It's very important. So the Mandarin version is down there. If you know Mandarin, you can read it yourself. So 心境呢，观自在菩萨不懂。Then 1.3. 1.3 is very important. The five aggregates of form and mind, the two aspects of it. The reason why this five aggregate of form and mind is very important is because in the First Noble Truth, the Buddha summarized all of the First Noble Truth under the eight reality. He said, in short, it is due to self-delusion that condition our grasping, craving, and clinging to this five aggregate of form and mind that I call dukkha or suffering. So if you want to understand this final summary, you have to inquire, why did the Buddha say that? Then why did Kuan Yin Bodhisattva also say, when she was cultivating the Prajna Paramita Sutta, she illuminated the five skandha and realized that they are all empty. Wu Yun, she echoed. You see the two match. They coincide. So if you cannot understand the five aggregate of form and mind, you cannot put to test the final summary. You cannot understand what the Buddha meant. You can inquire, why did the Buddha say that? But first, you must understand what this five aggregate of form and mind is. Then only you can put to test. So if you attach, cling, and grasp onto this five aggregate, the suffering arises. We call it the upadana khandhas. Khandhas are aggregates. You know what is aggregate, isn't it? Huh? Civil engineer will know. Huh? The stone, the granite stone or the limestone, or what? One piece, we call it the aggregate. Aggregate means one lump, one heap. So actually your mind has this aggregate. Because this five, they are all separate. That's why you can, in the meditation, be at the moment of feeling, at the moment of perception, at the moment of sankhara activity, mind state. You can stay there. And at the moment of consciousness, the pure consciousness, before the content of consciousness go in, you can just stay there. But your mindfulness has to be very, very stable to do that. I still remember towards the end of my training, my mind was so different. The mindfulness, it can be there. Just stop. I always use this word, but actually no sound. But at the moment of contact, it stay there. Then after that, the movement, you can be with that feeling that arises. That's why feeling can remain as pure feeling. It will not be conditioned into craving. It's because there is wisdom. There is mindfulness. There is understanding. The initial wisdom and the third turning wisdom. Because they are so clear. They are so stable. That's why immediately it can stay there, stop. Feeling will remain as pure feeling. It will not be conditioned into craving. That's why a lot of cultivators didn't understand. They become so gullible because they were taught cut at feeling. Your feeling is the culprit, they say. From feeling is conditioned craving. So if I don't want to have craving, I cut at feeling. You go and cut. You go and buy the sharpest knife also, you cannot cut. Without wisdom, you cannot cope with feeling. Feeling will straight away be conditioned into craving, grasping, fear, worry, anxiety. You don't stand a chance unless you have wisdom. Without wisdom, yonisomanasikara, at the moment of sense experience, you cannot cope. Feeling straight away conditioned into craving. Then from craving, it will also go to grasping if you are not mindful enough. Then the whole dwelling, they will continue. That's how the teaching is being taught, and not many people can have that understanding. And this understanding is very useful, very important. So now I will go into the explanation of the five aggregate of form and mind. The first aspect is as a human being, where the rupa is the physical form. Rupa is the physical form, or the body. Then our mind, we have the four other aggregates. Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana. You look at the chart. These aggregates of mind, if you want to understand, you have to inquire, what can my mind do? So the obvious thing is, our mind, we have been using it for so long. Our mind can feel. There is a feeling aggregate, hot or cold, pleasant or unpleasant. You can feel that feeling aggregate, that sensation is there, pleasant or unpleasant. All these sensations, they are there. So the aggregate of feeling is Vedana. Then the mind can also perceive things. Through the seeing consciousness, you can perceive what is within your field of vision. Through your hearing consciousness, you can perceive the vibration of nature, my voice, the rain, and all those things. Then through your hearing consciousness, hearing already over, your smell, your taste, your tactile, and your thought consciousness, you can also perceive them. Because there is this power of mind to perceive. Whatever you perceive, you come to understand them. That's why this perception aggregate brings the external form that you perceive into your mind. And this second aggregate of mind is very important, perception, sanya. This is the one that brings in the external form. Then number 3 is sankhara. Sankhara are all the content of consciousness, everything that your mind can do, including feeling and perception. But the Buddha has to separate feeling and perception. That these two aggregates are very important. They are later taught under the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Feeling under Vedana Nupassana, mindfulness of feeling. Then Sanya is to allow you to understand how the external form can enter the mind. That's why you have to separate it. Now, so Sanya is actually perception or cognition. Everything that you come to recognize, you have to perceive it. So the aggregate of perception is very, very powerful. That's why it's separated. Then the rest, whatever your mind can do, they are called sankhara. So your mental thinking, your mental activity, your mental state, your mental emotion, your mental intention, including your planning, scheming, or whatever you do in your mind, they are all under sankhara. So this aggregate is a very powerful aggregate because your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system, everything is under this aggregate of sankhara, including your scales of memory. They are all under sankhara. Then finally, what your mind can do is it can become conscious. Conscious of what you see, conscious of what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. That's how you know the world. That's how you interact with the world, using the senses. And this sense of consciousness is the one that created the phenomenal world of consciousness. And this one is responsible for the arising of the mundane mind. So the second aspect of the 5 aggregate of form and mind is when the aggregate of form enters the mind through the perception aggregate, then within the mind there is the 4 aggregate of mind, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Then together with the external form that perception bring in, this mental 5 aggregate of form and mind is what the Buddha meant by the second aspect of the 5 aggregate of form and mind. And this is the one that he teach under the teaching of Paticca Samuppada, the dwelling, dependent origination. So not the one with the 3 period of time one. That one is not the teaching. That one is the commentary put in. Well, I saw it in the meditation, I saw it in my own daily mindfulness, how all these links arise and pass. That's why I can explain it to you. Whereas the commentary need the 3 period of time that they cannot explain the instantaneous dependent origination that arises every moment, every instant within our 5 aggregate of form and mind. So you look at the notes, it is very clear. Perception of sanya is translated as cognition by Venerable Master Xuan Hua in his book. Then the heart of Prajna Paramita Sutta. Then the second aspect as a five mental aggregate where the mental rupa or form, external form, brought into mind by the aggregates of sanya. So this is the only thing you have to understand. Then sankhara equals to mental formation, mental activity, mental state, mental intention, mental planning, scheming, etc. Equal everything that your mind can do, including feeling and perception. That's why you study Abhidhamma, Sankhara, they say there are 52 mind states or cetasikas. But if you separate feeling and perception, the remaining is 50. That's how the 52 come about. Then consciousness or vijnana is like the receptacle or the container that feels the content. That's why initially, like in the seeing consciousness, the physics experiment, upon contact, what happened? The light up lights up. That lighting up is like the mind becoming conscious. So at the moment of seeing, in the seeing, the Buddha say, there is no one to see. In the seeing, it's only the seeing consciousness, just the pure consciousness. But immediately, your mind, the mundane mind with its brain and the conditioning moves so fast, you input the content of consciousness. That's why when the content of consciousness went in, you yourself also didn't know. Because this is your habitual tendency, your views, your opinion, your conditioning, your belief system. And this is the one that you have cling on to, grasp onto so strongly. That's why immediately it went in and you stir your mind, you react. It's like acting according to memory, it's not acting at all. And living beings constantly use memory to act because they have not developed the wisdom, the understanding. That's why they cannot act according to understanding or wisdom following Noble Eightfold Path. Not until you cultivate Noble Eightfold Path, which is a meditation as taught by the Buddha, you can never have the wisdom to act. The wisdom can only arise after you have developed the understanding of the Noble Eightfold Path. That's why the teachings are all interconnected and linked. Then the next one is six sense door. We have five physical senses: our ear, our nose, our eye, our tongue, our bodily tactile, and the brain, the mind door. So these five physical senses together with the mind door or the brain become the sixth sense door. So the sixth sense door have three aspects. First aspect is the senses, the first six. Then you have the sense data, which is the second six, like seeing consciousness. To arise seeing consciousness, you need sense data, color, shape, and form. Then for hearing, you need vibration. Then for for smell, you need to have the senses. Then for your taste, you need to have the curry or whatever flavor for you to taste. Then for tactile, you need the environment to give you the tactile consciousness, like hot and cold, aircon, humid or whatever. Then for mind, you need mind object or dhammas. So all these are the sense data. Then upon contact, the sense door, the respective sense door consciousness arise. That's how you can have the 18 sense right. The three sets of six, 3 times 6 is 18. They call it the 18 sense right. So when you do the four foundation of mindfulness meditation under Dhammapada, there is an aspect where you cultivate the mindfulness of the 6 internal sense bases and the 6 external sense bases. That one is very important. When you develop mindfulness of that, you develop the wisdom as taught by the Buddha under the fourth way. He taught the 5 ways to overcome unwholesome thought. So the fourth way is actually that mindfulness of the sense bases, internal and external. Okay? Vision. Oh, 18 sense line. Okay. Okay, you can see the chart. Huh? This one is under what? Page 163. Huh? Page 163 of our Sutra book. Good. My daughter managed to find it. Huh? The 18 sense line, the 3 sets of 6, they are all clearly explained there. The first set of 6 is the internal sense basis. Then the second set of 6 is external sense basis or sense data. Then the third set of 6 is the respective sense or consciousness. So under the chart, the 5 physical senses and the mind in the middle. So you must understand that the mind is the common denominator. Without mind, none of the sense or consciousness can arise. So if you want to understand the Dhamma, you need to take care of mind. That's why you need to train the mundane mind, develop mindfulness, stabilize it until it becomes heedfulness. Then from there, you awake. That's why whatever sense or consciousness arise, it can be from any of the senses. But once you are with the mind, the mindfulness, the awareness, then it can follow. It got no more problem. That's why under the Tujuh there is a talk by Ajahn Chah. I think some of you might have read this book. Tujuh there's a monk. They call it Venerable Empty Scripture. So his Dhamma is very good, but knowledge-based, very scholarly. So a lot of people respect him because he is very senior and he is very good at the Dhamma knowledge level. But the Buddha every time sees him, call him Venerable Empty Scripture. That the Buddha knew he has not awakened, but he knows the Dhamma inside out. It's like a very scholastic monk, a lot of knowledge. Then finally, he wants to learn the true teaching, but he doesn't know who to approach. Very too shy. Everybody say, no, Mr. Venerable, you are so senior, you are so good, I cannot teach you. So finally, he went and approached a 7-year-old monk. It seems this 7-year-old monk is an arahant. Then this young monk, I think he tried to test him. He said, oh, you want to learn from me? Can. He said, there's a pool of water. Go, roll yourself over it. And because this Venerable is really serious, he really go and wet and dirty his robe. Then after that, the small boy looked at him and said, okay, I think now you can learn. So he teach him. You know how he teach him? He teach him this 18 sense line, the sense basis. He said, he gave him an analogy. He said, there is a mole that he has made. Mole. There are 6 holes surrounding it. Then he said, there is a, I don't know what was it. I don't know whether it's an insect or something that went inside. Is it mouse or I forgot already. Something went inside. He said, how can you make sure that this insect or mouse, when it come out, you will be there? So Tochiputala, that Venerable Empty Scripture, was thinking and thinking and he don't know what to do. He said 6 holes. How to look after them? It can come out from any of these 6 holes. It can be only at one place at a time. Then the 7-year-old Aran teach him. He said, why don't you cover 5 of the holes and stay at one of the holes? He has to come out through there, isn't it? Oh, then from there, this Venerable developed the understanding and suddenly awakened and became an Arahant too. Because he straight away linked it to the mind, understand? Because the mind has a common denominator, which is the 6th sense right, the 6th sense or the 18th sense right. For the 6th type of consciousness to arrive, you need a common denominator, which is the mind. So when you stay with the mind, you don't have to stay with the 6th soul. It's like you stay with the one that is common to all. That's why wherever it come out, it will see that there is mindfulness, there is awareness, there is sati. That's how the Dhamma can be realized and understood and awakened. That's why you must silence your mind and to develop the understanding, the contemplative wisdom, followed by the meditation. So that example is very useful. So hopefully it can help you. Okay, we move on. Part 2, meditation. So under meditation, I teach the basic essential Dhamma that you need to understand. First set of essential Dhamma is the 5 mental hindrances. These are mind states that hinders the mind from becoming peaceful and aware within. And the 5 mental hindrances are sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor. Sloth and torpor means sleepiness, lethargic mind. Then restlessness of mind, and finally doubt. So when these 5 mental hindrances arise, do not resist, do not suppress, do not control, do not do anything to it. According to the Buddha, they arise because you lack the opposite 5 spiritual faculties. So cultivate just the opposite 5 spiritual faculties. So to counter the hindrance, you only need to cultivate the 5 spiritual faculties. Always remember that. Then when you cultivate the 5 spiritual faculties, it will enable you to cease the mental hindrance. Then these 5 will counter them. So the opposite 5 spiritual faculties are Sada, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya. So Sada is faith, Virya is spiritual zeal, Sati is mindfulness, Samadhi is the collectedness of mind, the unwavering mind, and Panya is wisdom. So these 3 is very important, especially Sati, Samadhi, and Panya. But the first one, Sada, also very important. When you have faith, your mind becomes very calm, very composed, isn't it? True or not? So if your mind is very calm, very composed, then there is faith. So when there is faith, there is no more doubt. It cancels the mental hindrance of doubt. Then faith will drive you to cultivate. We have faith in the Buddha and his teaching. You come to know who the Buddha is. He is such a wise and virtuous being. Such a great being, worthy of respect. And cherish. You will cherish his teaching. So he is such a great being. He's not only enlightened, he's fully enlightened. And because he's fully enlightened, his teaching is so wonderful. It can lead to enlightenment in the here and the now. So when you have such a great teacher, you will have great faith and respect. That's why your Sada become very strong. Then it will drive you to cultivate this beautiful teaching. This is the most important to enable you to understand life and awaken so that you can live a noble life. So this aspect, when Virya is there, spiritual zeal will make sure you are not sleepy, where you see the importance of this practice, this cultivation. Then after that, Sati. The moment you have Sati, there is no more thinking. There is no more restlessness of mind. There is no more fear, worry, and anxiety. Then the moment you have Samadhi, your mind is collected and unwavering. It does not stir. That's why there is no mental hindrance. You do not react to sense experience anymore. Then the moment there is wisdom, all these mental hindrance cannot arise. Because with wisdom, all the 5 mental hindrances to be. That's how you develop the understanding. So they are not separate essential Dhamma. They are connected, and you have to develop the understanding. So once you have the faith, it will lead to the virya, spiritual zeal, then it will condition you to cultivate sati. That's why sati must be developed until very stable, until you are ever mindful. Then mind enters sati. Then only your daily mindfulness can come about. Then as you do this, you also must listen to Dhamma to develop the initial wisdom. You must also reflect, contemplate, inquire. First and second turning wisdom to arise the initial wisdom, yonisomanasikara. So this one will allow you to have the condition to develop the daily mindfulness. So when daily mindfulness is stabilized, it can give rise to sense restraint. You can see everything very clearly. That's how the 10th step of Avijja Sutta progresses. Then when you have sati and samadhi, you can see things as they are and you can awaken. Sati and samadhi is without thought. Do you realize that? These are spiritual faculty. That's why you cannot use thought to rationalize, to develop the knowledge, to attach to Dhamma, to look for Dhamma. No. Meditation is spiritual faculty. Saddha, virya, sati, samadhi, and panya. Sati and samadhi is just the silent mind, awareness, leading to stability of mind, the unwavering mind, the collected mind. So this one will not stir. At the moment of sense experience, it will not stir. It will not react. That's how you can see things as they are and awaken. Let the silent mind awaken. Don't go and look for it through the thought, through the knowledge, Dhamma knowledge. That one is not the real one. Thought-based meditation is limited by the instrument that you use, which is thought. How can you use thought to realize the Dhamma which is akaliko, which is beyond thought, beyond mind? Realize this, understand this, then don't be gullible anymore, don't be foolish. Just train your mind, don't try to know. Develop mindfulness until it's very, very stable, until it accumulates into heedfulness. And heedfulness is ever mindful, constantly meditative. Remember that. Do it. Just do. Don't try to know. Then the understanding will come. The mindfulness, the sati will understand and awaken without you doing anything. Okay. The next one, which is the 5, daily contemplation, is also very useful. This one also can give rise to initial wisdom. This one actually allow you to develop some initial wisdom to confront the first noble truth. So the first 3 daily contemplation I read to you. Right? This body of mine is of the nature to grow old and decay, for it has not gone beyond old age and decay. This body of ours is of the nature to be diseased and get sick, for it has not gone beyond disease and sickness. This body of ours is of the nature to die, for it has not gone beyond death. So these first 3 is to counter the first noble truth reality of old age, sickness, and death. It can also cover birth because it is an understood aspect of life, the reality. So when you understand that this body doesn't belong to you, we make our element only, don't know it. That's why it go the way of nature. That's why the Buddha say, reflect, contemplate. This body of ours is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die. For it has not gone beyond old age, sickness, and death. Means the body is not you. So why worry about it getting old, getting sick, and die? It is its nature to go that way. So when it happens, do not arise the delusion, the self-delusion, to arise craving, attachment, and be entangled, so that you will not worry about your physical body getting old, getting sick, and die. But this is not you. He know you, he know me. This one is the form within the 5 aggregate of form and mind. And this one is only element. Without the consciousness, there is no knowing. How can it be you? That's why it goes the way of nature. It will experience old age, sickness, and death. So you can confront it with understanding and wisdom. And no need to worry about you getting old, getting sick, and die. Make use of it while you can. That's why take care of it so that it will last you longer, so that it will not deteriorate so fast. If you take care of the body will have better condition for you to make use of. You will not develop the unnecessary suffering and misery. That's why my teacher Jayantra, he teach this very important Dhamma. He said, don't be foolish. Wake up to the reality. If our physical body can talk, you know what the physical body is going to tell you. He said, oh master, I am only tissue and cell. Harm me not. Have me work for you, for the good of the many and yourself, before I am too old, too weak, and too fragile to serve you. If your body were to talk to you in such manner, how will you feel? Are you still so gullible? He said, harm me not, I am only tissue and cell. And do you know human beings abuse the body and harm the body and never take care of the body? Do you know how they abuse the body? They go and drink, they go and smoke, they go and take drugs, then they go and become crazy or sensual desire and all that. And they get themselves entangled. They get themselves involved in all sorts of funny activities. Then sometimes they land themselves in depression, with suicidal thought, holding on to that type of views that are so negative and so dangerous. That's why views and opinion can really develop delusion if you are not careful. That's why your belief system can actually drive you crazy when you don't have the wisdom and the understanding. Because truth is not to be believed. Truth is to be realized. When you realize is the truth, then there is no need to believe. Understand how? Who need to believe? When you are not sure, you believe. Yeah. For me, I don't have to believe anything. I investigate into life. Then I can understand life through my investigation. So I don't need to believe anything. Whatever that needs somebody to believe means they don't understand. Why must you believe? The truth is the truth. Like science, no need to believe. Investigate. Like the Buddha said, the Dhamma, investigate. Where is the truth? It will stand up to investigation. Okay, so the first three contemplation is already very beautiful. Then the fourth one also very beautiful. All that is dear to us, our loved ones, our prized possession, our wealth, our whatever, yeah? Property and all those things, are impermanent and condition arising. Hence, they will separate from us one day. And then also, if the breath stop, your identity erase, it will also separate from you. Yeah? So separation is a reality. Then the last one is the most important, is about the law of karma. We are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma, and we are what we are because of our karma. So this is the most powerful daily contemplation. If you know that you are all born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma, and you are what you are because of karma, what must you do? You must take care of karma. Your entire life depends on karma. You are born of it. You inherit everything. And you are conditioned and supported by it. And every moment, every instant, you are what you are because of karma. So if you don't take care of your karma, your life will become afflicted. So how do you take care of karma? That's how the Buddha's teaching come about. His advice come about. He said to take care of karma is to avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind. That is the famous saying of the Buddha, Dhammapada verse 183. Sabba papasa akaranang, kusalesa upasampadang, sachitta pariyotapadang, etang buddhana sahasana. He said sabbe means all. Sabbe papasa akaranang. All evil is to be avoided. Then kusala, he never says sabbe kusala. He said wholesomeness is to be cultivated. Then you have to purify your mind. Sachitta, chitta is mind. You have to purify your mind. And that is the advice of all Buddha. So this is how the teaching come about. How to avoid all evil? The Buddha recommend keeping your precept. That's why sense restraint is very important. And to have sense restraint, you must have a very stable daily mindfulness, sati sampajana. And to have daily mindfulness, you must have initial wisdom. And to have initial wisdom, you must have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And to have that, you must listen to the Dhamma, develop the first and second turning wisdom. So all these are connected. And to have this condition, you must have Dhamma friend. That's why Avijja Sutta, the first 5 steps, very important, leading to step 6, sense restraint. So when you can keep your precept, you avoid all evil. Then to cultivate wholesomeness, you need to cultivate noble path. That's how the teaching come about. Then meditate. Okay, the last one, meaning of craving, meditation and attachment of clinging. Craving is wanting things your way, reacting to. Means craving leads to suffering. Always remember that. When you want things your way, which is not nature's way, it will lead to suffering. Then you cannot get what you want. Meditation, there are 3 turning. Listening, hearing, or reading, or Dhamma discussion nowadays. First turning. Second turning is when you reflect, contemplate, and inquire. That is the second turning. Then the direct seeing is the third turning, bhavana maya panya. So the 3 types of corresponding wisdom, they will arise. Then attachment equals to grasping or clinging, their delusion. And this, again, condition suffering. Okay, so we finish chapter 1. I think tonight enough. What's the time now? Oh, 10:16 already. Okay, good. So we will end here. So let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.
Okay, we open it out and see anybody got any question or not. Yeah, unmute, yes. Anybody has any question or anything you want to share, you can raise your hand. Anybody? Anybody? Oh, relative. Relative, you got, yes, you got anything or not? Nothing, huh? Emmy. Oh, relative, yes. You want to say something? Any feedback, relative?
Very good.
Very good, huh?
Yeah.
Sadhu. So, Pamasuri, you? Or separately? Oh, yeah, she is just next one. Oh, very good. I share one computer. Sadhu, sadhu. So, Pamasuri, your suggestion is very good. Sadhu, thank you for the good suggestion. Sadhu.
But here I have something to share here. Just
Okay.
what you mentioned about.
Yes.
What you mentioned about craving.
Yeah.
I link this craving to the second noble truth.
Yes.
Is
the
it?
Cause of arising. Yeah,
Yes.
cause of arising of suffering. So what is your question?
Is because of our craving. We crave for things.
Yeah. You mute the rest.
We want things our way and push away things that we do not like. That is okay.
Yeah, but the second noble truth is deeper. You have to understand there are 3 types of craving that the Buddha talked about. Kama tangha, then bhava tangha and vibhava tangha. And this craving, the 3 types, they are linked to self-delusion. That's why, because of self-delusion, Sakayaditi, it conditions craving. Without ignorance, there is no craving. So craving, the 3 types of craving are very important. Sensual desire is desire of the sense experience. That's why within our sensual world, ours is a karma loka. That's why the corresponding word for karma is sensual. So karma loka correspond to karma tangha. So our sensual mind, which is kama loka, has this problem, kama tanha. That's why we crave for the sense experience. When we cannot get what we want, we suffer. And that craving comes from the sakayaditi, the self-delusion, like I explained. Once the egoic mind, the personality arises, we believe the form and mind is real. We believe this is me, this is I. Therefore, all this can be mine. It can own thing and have thing. So this craving for materialistic thing, for sensual thing, is a very common craving. So this first aspect of craving is universal, and a lot of living beings have very strong craving for the senses. That's why attachment will lead to suffering. When you cannot get what you want, when conditions cease to be without the Dhamma, you suffer. Then bhava tanha, craving to be. You want to become something. That's why craving is very powerful. You want to become famous. You want to become the CEO. You want to become the leader or the head of society or household or what, or the president and all. So this craving to be can end up finally without wisdom, they will suffer, they will be afflicted. Because initially they may fight and try to develop the control like politicians, then like CEO. After they are promoted, after they are in that position, they realize a hot seat. Then after that they had enough or they are removed, then they crave not to be. So a lot of these things will lead to suffering. So vibhava tanha is craving not to be, means don't want to become that thing. Yeah. So these three types of craving, kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha, need to be understood because these are human reality. If there is no self, there is no desire, no craving, no emotion, no delusion. That's why the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion create the craving for these three types of craving to arise. So once you nip the bud and root out sakayaditi by seeing clearly the unreality of this five aggregate of form and mind, see very clearly it's impermanent. Then how, when you attach and cling, it leads to suffering? All the five aggregates, the final summary, put it to test. You grasp to the physical body, do you suffer? You grasp to feeling, do you suffer? You grasp to everything you perceive, do you suffer? You grasp to all your views, opinion, conditioning, and mind states, do you suffer? You grasp to all the consciousness that arise, do you suffer? Find out, investigate in your daily life, in your daily mindfulness, cultivation. Then while you are in your formal meditation, see it clearly with the silent mind and aware, mindful. Without mindfulness, you cannot understand all this. Yeah? So this question that you bring out is very good. Craving and attachment is linked to the second noble truth, yes. But in the meditation, find out, before craving, the factor that condition craving is what? Is your sakayaditi, self-delusion. See that clearly. That will bring you to the ability to penetrate non-self. Means the anatta nature of all phenomena, not only the human being. Every aggregate is like that. Every phenomenon is like that. Okay? Yeah. Okay? Yeah. What is your
Brother
specific
Teo.
question?
Hello,
Yes.
Brother
Yeah.
Teo.
Susan, yes. I hear
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Brother Teo,
Susan,
you were
yes.
saying about the initial wisdom.
Yes, yonisomanasikara.
Yes. Can you talk a little bit further about it? Because in the Noble Eightfold Path,
Yes.
yeah, one of it, of course, is the panya, which is wisdom. But before we can even realize
Yeah,
the wisdom in that Noble Eightfold Path. There is this initial wisdom
yeah.
that can
The
lead
Buddha called yonisomanasikara. The initial
Manasikara.
wisdom
Right.
can
Yeah.
awaken, can also awaken. It
Yeah.
depends on the individual's path. Yes, yeah.
Right.
What
Which
is your
means
specific
that,
question? Yeah,
yeah, which means that
yeah,
this initial wisdom, as you say, the yonisomanasikara,
yeah.
is already there in
It has to be there.
everyone.
No, no, no,
Right.
no.
There
Before
is,
you cultivate, you listen.
yes,
This one I have to explain. That's why
right.
last time Yun Chan used to ask me this question. Then
Mm.
I told her, yonisomanasikara, the initial wisdom, you have means you have. You don't have means you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And the more important question is, how do you develop it?
Yep.
You develop it through constantly listening to the true Dhamma. Then
Yep.
reflect, contemplate, and inquire.
Mhm.
These are the first two turning wisdom. When
Right.
you listen, it's Suttamaya Panya, means wisdom born of hearing the sutta
Right.
or discourse of the Buddha. Then
Mm.
nowadays, you not only hear it from the Buddha, you can hear it through the recording. You can read it from the book. You can also go and have Dhamma discussion and all those things among Dhamma friends, like our sharing.
Mm.
So this one can develop through hearing, like you hear my sharing,
Right.
questioning wisdom.
Mm.
If you have the past cultivation, you receive very fast. Like during the time of the Buddha, Kondanya. The moment he hear that Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta before it ends, he already awakened. He became a Sotapan. He didn't meditate.
Mm.
He
Yeah.
didn't meditate. Then
Mm.
after that, the Anattalakkana Sutta that follow, all five become Arahant. They didn't meditate because their past is already developed.
Yeah.
Their
It's,
past cultivation.
mm.
So first and second turning wisdom can awaken if you have your past cultivation. So otherwise, you need to stabilize what you have heard or what you have read. Then
Yeah.
when you stabilize it, it becomes a more stable type of understanding. And that is what contemplation, reflection, and inquiry is all about. When you contemplate into the Dhamma that you have heard, then what happens? Like when you study, initially when the teacher teach a new subject you don't quite understand, you come back, you have some note, then you read the textbook. You read,
Yeah.
then you try to assimilate what you have heard. Then you try to develop understanding. So second turning wisdom is to stabilize that understanding. Means to stabilize all the Dhamma that you have heard through a constant reflection and contemplation and inquiry to relate to daily life. Like the Buddha say, birth is suffering. You contemplate. Why did the Buddha say birth is suffering? Because most people who don't contemplate, they will always think of becoming the parent, the father, the full moon day, happy occasion. But they never think of if things go wrong, what happened. That's why when you reflect, when you contemplate, you recollect all the life experience that allow you to understand why the Buddha said birth is suffering. Old age, sickness, and death is suffering. Separation is suffering. When you are with people whom you don't like is suffering. When you cannot get what you want is suffering. Reflect on it, contemplate on it. That stabilizes understanding so that when you confront them, you can deal with them. It's just like the 5 daily contemplation. And that is second turning wisdom. So this initial wisdom, they will be very useful. Then when you have that stabilized already, whenever you experience something in life, let's say you see something, then that sense experience actually in normal time, before you have this initial wisdom, they will react and stir and create the duality of like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience. Then your mind is not at peace already. So what happens is when you have the initial wisdom, it will immediately prompt you. Sankara anicang, sankara dukkang, dhamma anatta. Then he is the way he is, seeing things as they are. The world is the world. Condition like that, things will be like that. So you are always at peace. That is the second turning wisdom. That's why your mind becomes less reactive, less mental activity. So the first two links of paticca samuppada, avijja paccaya sankara, you can develop it to develop the understanding very easily. Dependent on avijja, which is ignorant, it arises sankara, thinking, mental activity. So if you cultivate accordingly, when you develop the wisdom and the understanding with the initial wisdom, you will have straightened your view. You will have less wrong view. That's why with less wrong view, when your avijja has been attenuated or reduced, then less thinking, less sankara. That's why there is more clarity, more mindfulness, more space between thought, more moment of awareness, sati, without activity of mind, without emotion, without the duality of like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience. Yeah. So this is how the initial wisdom need to be developed. Means first and second turning wisdom will lead to initial wisdom. And you have to stabilize that. That's why my teacher, Achayantra, and later on I met many, they all reminded me, we just contemplate until very, very clear the Dhamma. And that was during the early 80s. Then later on, when I met him in 1988, he repeated, whenever I'm with him alone, he repeated this no less than 6 or 7 times. And I didn't know it was the second turning wisdom until later in 1989, when I came out to share, I read the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Then only I came to know that it was the second turning. I did that a lot during my early days of cultivation without me knowing that it's the second turning. But that was my past. My past has that perfection, that inheritance. That's why it came very natural. And I know how to reflect. I know how to contemplate. You also can go to the unique code. My daughter managed to get this book, the unique code. Code number 53. Yonisomanasikara is wisdom at the moment of sense experience. It is important to develop the silent mind, the meditative mind, until it's very, very stable and sensitive, so that you are aware when there is any slightest mental intention to stir your mind. We are like and dislike, born of habitual tendency. Yonisomanasikara will prompt you that this is attachment, craving, born of wrong view, for things are just the way they are. So that's how you use it.
Just now,
yes, yeah.
I understand that. Yeah. Just now, if I heard right, you were saying that having the sada, faith.
Yeah, faith. Oh, very important.
Yeah, that also promotes this yonisomanasikara. If I heard you right, if you said
that
earlier,
is a
I heard that.
faculty.
Yeah, it is a spiritual faculty, but
that faith will drive you, to have the virya to cultivate the sati. Then when the sati stabilizes to become samadhi, wisdom can arise.
Yes.
Sati and samadhi will allow you to see things as they are through the direct seeing, and you can awaken. And that is the third turning, bhavana, maya, panya. That third turning is very powerful, very penetrative. That one is nothing to do with contemplation. That's why that one doesn't involve thought at all. Contemplation and reflection is creative reflection. Means your mind must be in the state of creative stability of mindfulness and faith, sada. When there is no faith, no virya, no sada, that mind cannot be in the creative state. The spiritual faculty will make your mind enter that creative state to enable you to reflect and contemplate with a calm, quiet mind. There is little bit of thinking, but it is just the reflection part. The reflection part is the one that allow you to reflect on that thing that you want to understand. It's the inquiry, you will throw up the inquiry. Why did the Buddha say birth is suffering? Why did the Buddha say Sakaya Ditti is the self-delusion that condition the evil roots?
Right.
Why did the Buddha say the 5 mental hindrances arise? Because you lack the 5 spiritual faculties. So you reflect, you contemplate. But the inquiry part need the thought to arise. After that, you don't think anymore. After that, you follow the inquiry. Then it will allow your silent mind in the creative state to recollect through life experience what you have seen in life. And that is the one that suddenly trigger off. Because when you reflect and contemplate through recollection of past experiences, whatever that you experience, there's certain thing that you never pay attention last time. Suddenly you realize that's why the Buddha say, birth is suffering. Well, we never look at those aspects. When things don't go your way, when there is complication of birth, what will happen? Then that aspect, if you are non-cultivator, you don't look into it because other people's problem, understand? It's not your problem. But when it's your problem, you're different. But as a cultivator, we don't need to wait for our problem. We are sensitive. We can see. We are mindful in the midst of life. We are sensitive. That's why we can understand all this and we can awaken before we confront them. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Sadhu.
So,
Thank you for
so
your
basically,
good
basically it's the balance of the 5 faculties, spiritual,
spiritual faculty
that can, that this creative, you call it creative
contemplation
can arise with the balance of the 5 faculties.
Not the active thinking. The active thinking is knowledge.
It's a thought. It's a thought. It's
that
knowledge.
is the thought rationalizing. Very good. Sadhu. You created a very good condition.
Yes.
Sadhu. Thank you so much, Suran.
Thank you. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. Anybody else? Today a bit long. Anybody else? Otherwise, we can end. I think we better end. 10:37 already. Okay, let us do the sharing of merits, transfer of merit. Then you make your aspiration. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa cirang rakantu loka sasana ittawata ca amehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontunya tayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontunya tayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontunya tayo dewo satakalena sasa sampati hetu cha pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo sattang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, so thank you so much. We will wait before we off the recording first. Yes.